So it made a huge influence. And since then, he does a lot of designs of childcare centres and things throughout.
What's the name of your architect?
Ron Unger.
Ron Unger.
Why you want to invite him over?
You should come over and talk to us.
He's done an amazing job, really. So the transparency of the environment. It's really about building the relationship. So that idea of children being able to look in and look out, never being behind closed doors.
Yeah.
Yes, we've got closed doors here because we might lose a child out of the building, but the children are always able to see because of the transparency. And then again, I spoke about the idea of transparency, that everybody knows what everybody else is doing. There's no closed doors, there's no shut doors in our school at all. And that's really moved through the primary school. It's really possible to do this in primary school. It's really possible.
Okay.
Because I can see how things have changed.
That's an affirmation and
it's
reassurance for me.
It's very possible. And really, when I looked at the work that was happening in that high school, it's the same. It's best practice. It's not about alternate education. And it was amazing.
What's the name of the high school again?
Dandenong High.
Dandenong High.
Dandenong. Dandenong. It's very close to where you're going to Wollongong. Amazing. Look it up on the internet. Dandenong High School. The principal, he said he's not a young man, and he said, I've worked for I don't know how many years. Can't remember what he said exactly. He said, but for him, this has been if he dies now, he dies happy. Because he feels like he's making a difference, and it's the work they do. And he talked the same as we did about challenging teachers. Those that say, well, we don't know how to do this. And he's decided you're either on board or find another job. It's as simple.
You know why I asked the question? Because maybe one day I will hit a high school.
The high school is the most challenging.
Yes.
In our new principal, he felt that we should say year 11 and 12 is different, because there the children have to sit an exam and their whole livelihood is based around those exams. So if teachers teach to that exam, that's how it will be. But everything else should be different. And he's making some big changes even starting from next year. Our school is going through a really huge period of transition. And the only people who are not worried are the primary and the early learning centre, because we've been going through this period for a very long time already. And as I say, when they said two afternoons of professional development and everybody else there was, what do you think? And it's so terrible. Our teachers are so excited about it. And I'm not just saying, they are. They saw no problem with it at all. No problem, because this is a culture of learning here for everybody, not just the children, but for the teachers, for the parents. The parents, you asked about parents.
Yes.
It was very important for us, that education process for our parents takes a long, long time, and I still, many parents, I've had one family that have been here, they've had 3 children coming through the school, and she said, I think I finally got it then. So it takes a long time, okay? And even for teachers, we finally get it. You suddenly feel a light bulb coming on somewhere.
Just groping to Sunday.
Oh, no. Suddenly they'd like to.
Yes, Wendy?
But it's true, and I mean, even for our teachers, it's so interesting, because we've been doing a lot of work on in terms of our looking at what is the intent and what is a hypothesis. Really struggling with this idea, and from the books I printed out a whole lot of reading matter, and we sat together as teachers, and we've been going through it, and we've been working, and I thought, we finally seem to have reached an agreement on what it is for us. And then one of my teachers said to me, and she's quite new, this is only her 2nd year, she said to me, Daphne, she said, this is after I thought we got it. She said, I looked up in the dictionary what a hypothesis is, and it's a statement, not a question. I said, that's a scientific hypothesis. You have to see it in the context of where we are. And my heart like dropped to the floor.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So it's, as I say, it's constant.
Yeah.
It's not just, or I'm reading the teachers' newsletter. The teachers are writing exams. Sorry. They're writing reports.
Yes.
And when we do our reporting, we write a descriptive report. Okay, a full descriptive report. And I'm reading one teacher's report. She's a prep teacher, and she's one of the things I didn't tell you was that our children stay together for 2 years.
Yep.
So they start in 3-year-old kinder, and they with their teachers and children, and they physically move to the 4-year-old kinder. And the same with our prep in year 1.
And year 2, right?
Year 2, they start changing.
Although just prep in year 1.
Just prep in year 1. So she's prep now, but she's been year 1, and she's already had about 3 cycles of this, so she's not new here. And I'm reading on her report, and she said, so-and-so loves show and tell. I thought, we stopped show and tell such a long time ago. But there we are, she's still doing show and tell. So I came straight back in with a big question mark. I said to her, I just checked, I said to her, I phoned Tosca, who's the primary school coordinator. I said, I just wanted to check it out, what she thought about it. And she nearly had a heart attack. I said, Rose, we stopped show and tell, or we thought we'd stopped it so long ago. Even in terms of our cultures of thinking, they talk about, they say that children have a need to talk about things. But to sit in a mat with 25 children and make every child stand up and say something, it's a waste of time. Let them sit down, turn to a partner, tell them something or show them something that they've brought. Finished. So there we are. When we think we've taken 3 steps forward, we take 2 steps backwards, or 4 steps backwards.
It happens
all the time. All the time. And if we, I often think, if I wasn't there, would we go back? But I don't think so. I don't think so.
That's the question I'm asking myself.
Yeah, I don't think so, because as I say, teachers who have left here, you can still see the influence in their classrooms. They can't let go. And I remember writing the very first time I came back from Reggio, we had to present to the school council. And firstly, we gave a talk to the parents, and the parents and to the school council. And what we said, when I read it now, it was absolutely correct. But we had no understanding. Absolutely no understanding of it. And the second thing I remember, and I remember clearly in my head, I wrote, if we can rethink our role as teachers from that transmitter, to the facilitator, if we can rethink our image of the child, we've learned a lot from Reggio Emilia. It's just even those, the fact that the teacher is the listener and the children are the ones asking the questions. If we can just rethink. And I also wrote there that going to Reggio was a huge responsibility, because once you've seen what's possible, you can't come back and just let go and allow whatever was happening before.